Hare Krishna. So, welcome to the online classes, Srimad Bhagavatam lecture. So today we are going to discuss about the second verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, that is quality of the Srimad Bhagavatam. So before we start, we offer our respectful obeisance unto our spiritual master and predecessor Acharya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Amajnana Timirandasya Jnana Anjana Salakaya Chakkhurunmiletam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Jena Bhutale Soyam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sijuta Padakamalam Sri Gurum Vaishnavanam Cha Sirupam Sagrajatam Saganasi Raghunatam Vitamtam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalitam Sri Visakham Vitam Cha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sutta Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhaivacha Patitanam Pavanabhya Vaishnavya Namo Nama Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swamiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyabadi Pasyat Desa Tarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vyasadeva Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So thank you very much. Srimad Bhagavatam. So Srimad Bhagavatam only understood by the devotee who are non-envious, who are pure. Otherwise you cannot understand Srimad Bhagavatam. Today's verses is actually on that point also. So we will start today verses 1, 1, 2. Before that we have a recapping. That there are beautiful verses I want to show you. It is said that unless you speak about Krishna Katha, our speech is unchaste. Our speech is unchaste. So it is a beautiful verses. It is stated. So therefore we have taken this text of speaking Krishna Katha. So it is very nicely described in this beautiful verses that how in this beautiful verses you can see 366. So in these verses it is mentioned that if you do not speak of Krishna Katha, then your speech become unchaste. Giram anya, you say giram means speech, anya vidha asatim. Asati means sati means chaste, asati means unchaste. Your speech become unchaste if you do not speak Krishna Katha. In spite of my inability, whatever I have been able to hear from spiritual master, whatever I could assimilate, I am now describing in glorification of Lord by pure speech. For otherwise my power of speaking would remain unchaste. Although I am incapable, Srimad Bhagavatam is very vast knowledge. But whatever I have heard from Srila Prabhupada, my spiritual master, I would like to speak the same thing, glorifying the Supreme Lord. Otherwise my speech is unchaste. So Srimad Bhagavatam is very, very important book of knowledge. It's a must read. Essence of all Vedanta Sutra. So we will go through quickly that it is said that in Srimad Bhagavatam that Srimad Bhagavatam Sravanam Sradhaya Nityam. If someone very Sradhaya means very faithfully listen, Sradhaya Nityam every day, regularly, Sradhaya Nityam, Granantam Scha, Sochestitam, or endeavoring it, with seriously endeavoring to learn, to hear Srimad Bhagavatam. Then what will happen? Kalena na atidirghena. Kalena means not time, duration. Na atidirghena means not so much prolonged time, very short time. What will happen? Bhagavana basati hirde. Immediately Krishna will in very short period of time, if we hear regularly with faith, in short period of time, Krishna, the Supreme Lord, will basati, means will resides in the heart. That is the benefit of hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. Very nicely mentioned in this 284. So this Bhagavatam hearing is very, very important thing. Very, very important. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. This Prabhupada said that out of all 9 processes of devotional service, hearing is the beginning and most important. And the most important hearing is hearing of Srimad Bhagavatam. Today we will be discussing about the qualities, the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam. Quality. 112 is glory, it describes, it explains the qualities of Srimad Bhagavatam. How Bhagavatam is very highest Purana. Why it is considered as the topmost. In the very beginning of Bhagavatam, the qualities of Bhagavatam has been described by Srila Vyasadeva. It is said that Sinvatam Sudhaya Nityam Granantasya Sucheshtitam Kalena Natidirghena Bhagavana Visate. That is the essence of, that is the benefit, tremendous gargantuan benefit of hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. Lord will come and sit in the heart. In today's verses it is said that Lord is lock up, avaruddhate, kimba ishware avaruddhate, means he will lock up in the heart. Tatra kititivi susrubi. That is the essence, that is the tremendous benefit, stupendous benefit of hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. Pravishta kannarandrena soruram bhava swanam bhava soruraham dhunati samalam Krishna salilasya jathasarat. Pravishta kannarandrena, the next verses say that 285 Srimad Bhagavatam. Pravishta kannarandrena, the Srimad Bhagavatam, if enter into the ear, kanna means ear, it's not from the mouth. The medicine is taken from the mouth. Like COVID, we take the medicine, and so medicine we take from the mouth. But here it is kanna, hearing. This medicine, Srimad Bhagavatam, to cure our material disease, bhavasagara, bhavasado. This is bhavasado. Bhavarogo Sada. Bhavarogo means repeated birth and death. And this is the medicine, Srimad Bhagavatam is the medicine to stop this repeated birth and death. And it has to be administered, to be taken from the ear by hearing process. And when it goes to the heart, what will happen? All the infection will be clear, disinfected. Samalam, malam is dirty thing. Dhunati means cleanse. It will cleanse, disinfect all this mala, the dirty things. Kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, maschara. All the dirty thing is covering us. It makes us ignorance of our real purpose of life. So that dirty things will be cleansed. Just like in autumn season, the pond or reservoir of water is very dirty. When there is a rain falls, it becomes clear. Salilasya jathasagat. The analogy has been given. Similarly, when the Krishna Katha will enter into the heart through the ears, it will cleanse all the dirty thing in the heart. Sinvatam Sokatha Krishna Punya Sarvana Kirtana. In another places also 1-17, it is stated that Sinvatam Sokatha Krishna Punya Sravana Kirtana Udantustani Abhadrani, all the dirty thing Abhadra. Udantustani Abhadrani Vidhunati, again Dhunati. Vidhunati means very special cleansing, very specially, and double layer cleansing. It cleans completely all the Dhunati, all the dirty thing. Abhadrami, all dirty thing will be clear. Because our problem is that we are now infected by the material modes of nature. Our existence is now contaminated. Our mirror is now dirty. We have to clean Cheta Darpana Mardana. And that process is by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. That the most important hearing is Srimad Bhagavatam. Prabhupada says most important hearing is Srimad Bhagavatam. Therefore Bhagavatam is itself, it is said that निवृत्त तसेर उपगीयमान भावो सुदु सुप्ता मनोविरामान कौत्तम श्लोके गुणानुवादात हुमन विरज्यत मीना पशुधना. This Srimad Bhagavatam is the medicine for bhava pasudo. We are undergoing this obnoxious vicious cycle of repeated birth and death. We are dying, we are taking birth, we are dying, we are taking birth, dying. To stop all this miserable condition, obnoxious repeated birth and death, this Bhagavatam is the medicine. Tava kathamrutam tapta jivanam kavibiriditam kalmasopam. Gopis are telling this in this miserable world. The Bhagavata, hearing Bhagavat Katha, Krishna Katha is the most, say life and soul. Therefore, it is said that the speech is, without describing the speech, without speaking Krishna Katha, our speech become unchaste. So, hearing Bhagavatam is very, very important things. In the very beginning also, it is stated that in this beautiful verses, today's verses, it is said that one who hear Lord will immediately come and locked up. So we will read the recap of the last classes. Last classes is the first verses of Bhagavatam. Then we can go to the second verses. So we have so many glorification of Srimad Bhagavatam. In the first class I have already explained that how the Bhagavatam is non-different. It literal incarnation of the God. It is non-different from Krishna. Krishna tulya Bhagavata 𝗕𝗵𝗴𝗃𝗁𝗃 Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is speaking this beautiful verse to Sanatana Goswami when he met in Banaras. So he was speaking to Sanatana Goswami that Krishna tulya Bhagavata 𝗕𝗵𝗴𝗃 Prati shloke pati akhre nana arthakaya. So Krishna tulya Bhagavata and Krishna is non-different. Bhagavata Purana also already explained that how Krishna and Bhagavatam. Therefore, we must hear the Krishna Katha, the Bhagavatam Katha. That is the only way to get out from this obnoxious misery, from this mortal world. Murtyama amritagamaya. This is the way to immortality. That's why this young devotee of Krishna, Sukadeva Goswami, was speaking this Bhagavatam to death-bound King Parikshit Maharaj. In the end, Parikshit Maharaj, after hearing, he became perfected and went back to Godhead. This is the way to immortality, the way to back to Godhead is Srimad Bhagavatam hearing. So we will go back, although there are so many verses are there, because we will go back to our topics and just a recap of the last classes. Quick recap. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Here Srimad Bhagavatam starts when the Bhagavad Gita is the preliminary study. Bhagavatam is called graduate study. It is more details. Two kind of Krishna Katha, as I described in previous classes, that there are two kind of Krishna Katha. One is spoken by the Lord, that is Bhagavad Gita, the song of God, instruction of God, and spoken about Krishna, that is Bhagavatam. So here say Bhagavad Gita ends with Sarvadharman Parityada Mam Ekam Saranam Raja. Ends with surrendering process to Krishna, Supreme Godhead, by rejecting all other religion. The Supreme Dharma declared by Krishna himself at the end of Bhagavad Gita, concluding statement, most confidential and most secret instruction, that Sarvadharman Parityada, you reject all dharma, so-called dharma, you just surrender unto me. That is the real Supreme Dharma. And Bhagavatam is started with, beginning with this Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudeva, surrendering process to Krishna. Where the Bhagavad Gita ends, Bhagavatam, the graduate study, starts. And not only that, and Janmadasya Jataha, Janmadasya Jatam 𝗕𝗵𝗴𝗃𝗁𝗃. So now it is describing that Supreme Lord. Who is that Supreme Lord? Janmadasya Jataha. That Janmadasya Jataha means everything emanates from him. He is the Supreme Godhead. Krishna Vasudeva means son of Vasudeva. 𝗕𝗵𝗴𝗃 artheshu abhijña swarat. He is cognizant, aware of all his creation. Maintenance, destruction, everything, all his creation. Directly or indirectly. Just like a Prabhupada given an example in the purport, the chief engineer, although he is not directly participating in the construction of the big complicated building, but he is aware of nook and corner. Similarly, Lord is aware of all the things. Abhigya and Swarath, he is independent. He is not dependent, he is independent. He is not coming or he is not creating out of his some force. His will. He want to enjoy, he want to expand, so he created. Otherwise, before the creation he was alone. 𝗕𝗵𝗴𝗃𝗁𝗃. He was there before the creation. So he is independent. Whenever his will, he created. There is no force. We are forced to take birth according to our karma. Different body. Bill Gates, gatekeeper, Shah Rukh Khan body or some other body. So we are under the law of nature. So we are forced to take birth. But Lord is, we are dependent. Dependents. We cannot do anything. We cannot choose our body. We cannot do so many things, We cannot even answer the call of nature. Therefore, we are living being. He is supreme living being. That is the different. That is speciality. That he is independent, he is abhigya, he is aware of everything. We are not aware of our body itself. What's going on inside, Tene Brahmode Adhikabhya, and that personality, supreme personality, imparted the Vedic knowledge to Brahma, who is the first living being, because there is no training how to create the cosmic manifestation. So Lord has imparted the knowledge through the heart, because Lord is in the heart of all living entity. So he imparted. Therefore, the Brahma is the second creator, not the first one. Mihanti Sureha, everybody is illusioned by the Lord. Even Devata, Sura, sages, Devata. Muhanti Sureha, everybody. Lord Brahma also is praying, my Lord, please forgive me. Brahma Bhimona Lila, he is very nicely praying. I do not know, I was just, carried away by your illusion, Maya. Lord Shiva is also praying. Mohini Murti, I was carried away. All the Indra, Chandra, everybody praying. Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Maruta Tunmanti Divyastave Vedai Sangha Upanishadayar Gayanti Samaga Dhyana Vasishta Tadgatena Manasa Paschantyam Yogina Jasantana Vidu Surasana Gana Devaya Tasmai Namaha. The Surasara Gana Deva, all they do not know you. They are illusioned. Yam Brahma, Varunendra, Lord Brahma, Varuna, Mudra, Maruta, everybody is illusion. Yes, Suryas, everybody. Even in this, because we don't have time, otherwise I can show you some verses. Brahma is praying 10:4-9. Quickly, as I am showing these verses, that how Brahma is speaking, that how, my Lord, just see my uncivilized impudence to taste your power. I tried to extend my illusory potency to cover you, the unlimited and pliable super soul, who bewilder even the master of illusion. What am I compared to you? I am just like a small spark in the presence of great fire. See, Lord is the master of all illusion and every living entity. Tirvir Gunamahi 7:13 Bhagavad Gita. Krishna say, whole world is illusion by three modes of, conducted by three modes of material nature. Illusion by three modes. Here Brahma is telling, I was trying to taste you, try to extend my illusory potency to cover you, but you are the master of illusion. Who bewilder even the master of illusion. That is the position of Krishna. So everybody is illusion. Even Lord Shiva also in this, I think somewhere in this 8:12, I think 10 or something, the beautiful verses, Lord Shiva is also speaking that, oh my Lord, who am considered to be the best of demigods, Lord Brahma and great Rishi headed by Marichi are born of mode of goodness. Nonetheless, we are bewildered by your illusory energy and cannot understand what this creation is. Aside from what is to be said, others like demons and human beings who are in the base of modes of material nature, Rajaguna, Tamaguna, how will they know you? So Lord Shiva also asserted the fact, confirmed, corroborated the fact Lord Brahma corroborated, all Indra, Chandra, everybody corroborated, they are illusion. What to speak about human being? So mihanti surya tejavarimirdam vinamaya jatha tisarga misra. Because they think that water is just like a mirage. We think that there is water, they know water. Similarly, they think that water, instead of water, they think that something else. They mirage like this. Fire in water, earth in fire. In this way, they are illusion. Tisarga misra, under the three modes of material nature. So everybody is illusion. That is the power of Lord. So that is Supreme Lord, absolute truth. Dhamna Seno, and next one is called Dhamna Seno. Just a recapping faster, then we can go to our real verses, today's verses. Dhamna Seno Sada Nirasta Kukam. Dhamna Seno means his abode. Chintamani Prakara Sadmasu Goloko Iva Nivasti Akhilatma Mukta. So his abode called Goloko Vrindavan, the topmost Vaikuntha. He is free from Nirasta Sada Nirasta Kuha. Kuha means illusion. He is free from this material world, is full of illusion, conducted by material energy. But his spiritual world is Goloka Vrindavan, Vaikuntha planet. They are free from illusion. Dhamna Seno Sada Nirasta Kukam. They are free from all this illusion. Maya cannot stay when Krishna. Krishna Surya Sama Maya Andakara. Jaha Krishna Taha Mayara Nai. There is no jurisdiction of Maya where there is a Krishna. Just like there is a sun, means there is no darkness. Similarly, where there is Krishna, there is no Maya. So Maya is absent by his conspicuous in this material spiritual world. Sat, who is that person, is absolute truth, supreme personality of Godhead, absolute truth. Everything is relative truth. I am relative truth. I am now maybe somebody, this somebody or somebody family, some community, some country, but I am relative truth. Next birth I may be different, but Krishna is absolute truth. He is eternal. He is absolute. Therefore, Satyam Paramadhimahi, very first verses is establishing the Krishna is the Satyam, is the highest truth, is the supreme truth. Mata Parataram Nanyan Kinchid Dasti Dhananjaya. Satya Bratam Satya Param Tri Satyam. Satyasya Jonim Nihitam Cha Satyam. Satyasya Satyam Rita Satyam Netram. Satya Atmakam Saranam Prapana. Beautiful verse, 10 to 26, I think. This verses is spoken by the demigods when Krishna appeared in Devaki's womb. Not appeared, he was there in the womb actually. So that time all these demigods came down and offering prayers, and this beautiful. You are the truth, you are the truth, you are the truth. Is the absolute. Now in the very second verse, the first verses is like Sambandha Jnana, establishing who is this God, who is this absolute truth, who is the Supreme Lord. His identity and explanation of that absolute truth is given in first verses. That is called Sambandha Jnana, Sambandha Tattva. Then second verses now today we are going to study, we are going to discuss is the Bhagavatam, the qualities of Bhagavatam, glories of the Bhagavatam. It is said that dharma projita kaitav, because Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita, last verse says that sarva dharman parityada mamekam. He did not mention what kind of dharma to give up. And what is the supreme dharma? He told supreme dharma surrender. So how but Bhagavatam starts with that supreme dharma. Dharma projita kaita bhatram parma paramanir masaranam satam vedyam bastama matra bastu sivadam tapatre mulanam kimba parerishwar Srimad Bhagavata Mahamani kirte kimba parerishwara saddha udase avaruddhate kitivi susrivita takya. This kind of verses should be recited, get by heart. Beautiful verses. It will give you a kick, boosting. Dharma projita kaitava, rejecting all dharma. This is Bhagavatam. This is Bhagavatam. In Kali Yuga, everybody is nastadrissamesam. Everybody is blinded. So this Srimad Bhagavatam is like a Surya Punarka Adhuna Udita. He comes as a bright sun to dissipate our darkness. So here it is very beginning. He said dharma projita kaita. Projita means prakeshta rupena udita. All this cheating religion has been rejected. and it propounds the highest religion, highest dharma. That is Bhagavatam. Supreme dharma. What is the supreme dharma? Surrendering unto Krishna. Bhagavatam ends with Bhagavad Gita ends with surrendering to Lord. Lord declared, and here it is starting with that surrendering process. That is Bhagavata dharma. Krishna consciousness. That is means Bhagavat dharma. Supreme dharma, surrendering unto the Supreme Lord. So dharma, all this dharma projita. Dharma, artha, kama, moksha. That is very important because see, ahara, nidra, bhaya, maithunam cha, samanyam etam pasupi sama. Dharma is very, very important. Religious, without religiosity, we are like an animal. Common principle between human being and animal is ahara, eating, sleeping, sex, and defense or fear. These four things are very common principle. But one thing which distinguishes from the animal and human, that is dharma. Dharma hi eka adhika vishesha. That is Hitopadesha Shastra say that dharma hi eka adhika vishesha. The special quality of human being, the special attribute or special things about human being, that dharma is there. Religiosity. Religiosity means pious life. Searching after God. Urge to search after God. Pious life. Prabhupada did it as a pious life, religious life. That must be there. Dharma, artha, kama, moksha. There are four things is very important human life. Human life is not just an unscrupulous like animal life. Dharma nahi na pasu bhi samana. Without religiosity, you are like an animal. Animal society, you don't have the religious institutions. They are animals. If we do not have that religiosity, that means we are like animals. Very degraded, abominable, abhorrent. Therefore, the dharma is very important. Prabhupada has given a purport also very nicely. Let's go to purport then. We go through purport and we will be describing. Prabhupada has given beautiful. We'll go to translation first. Completely rejecting all religious activity which are materially motivated. This Bhagavata Purana propounds the highest truth which is understandable by those devotees who are fully pure in heart. The highest truth is reality distinguished from illusion for the welfare of all. Such truth uproots the threefold of misery. Vyasadeva in his maturity is sufficient in itself for God realization. And what is the need of any other scripture? As soon as one attentively, submissively hears the message of Bhagavatam, by this culture of knowledge, Supreme Lord is established within the heart. Very nice. Purport is a religion includes four primary subjects, namely pious activity, economic development, satisfaction of the sins, satisfaction of the senses, and finally liberation from the material bondage. Irreligious life is a barbarous condition. Indeed, human life begins with religions. Eating, sleeping, fearing, mating are four principles of animal life. These are common both to animal and human being. But religion is extra function of human being. Without religion, human life is no better than animal life. Therefore, in human society, there is some form of religion which aims at self-realization, which makes reference to man's eternal relationship with God. Prabhupada very nicely, first paragraph, ahara, nidra, bhaya, maithuna. The fourth thing is common. Religion is only the extra thing. Without religiosity, is like animal life, animal civilization. Barbarous, Prabhupada used the word barbarous. Barbarous means uncivilized. Barbarous life. Animal life is uncivilized. They don't have dress, they don't have any etiquette, they don't have anything, any formality, any kind of thing. So therefore the human form of life is a very special. Labdha sudullabham adam bahu sambhamate. After evolution process, so many evolution process, and we have got this human form of life. Very, very rare. Very, very rare. So in this life we do not adopt this religiosity, means it is a barbarous life, uncivilized life. Therefore religiosity is very, very important. In the lowest stage of human civilization, there is always a competition to lord it over material nature. In other words, there is a continuous rivalry to satisfy the senses. And driven by such consciousness, men turns to the religion. He thus perform pious activity or religious function in order to gain something material. But if such material gains are obtainable in other way, then so-called religion is neglected. This is the situation of modern civilization. Man is thriving economically, so at present he is not very interested in religion. Churches, mosques, temples are now practically vacant. Men are more interested in factories, shops, cinema than of religious places were erected by their forefathers. He practically proved that religion is performed some economic gains. Economic gains are needed for sense gratification. Often one is baffled with pursuit of sense gratification. He takes the salvation, try to become one with Supreme Lord. Consequently, all these states are simply different type of sense. See, Prabhupada is very nicely mentioned that religiosity is pious life, and from religiosity there is a dharma is first, then artha, then economic development come. From economic development, sense gratification. Sense gratification, then dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Moksha is liberation. So moksha is important. Liberation is the aim of life. How to go back to Godhead. Religiosity means some pious life. Then there is the economic development. Without economic development, without money, we cannot get sense gratification. There is some sort of sense gratification is that, but finally human being has to come to the point of liberation. How to get out, how to go back to Godhead. That has to be there. Otherwise, animal life, there is no purpose. Nowadays, the modern civilization, they don't care for religiosity. Economic development is there. They are directly going to economic development. And when they are going to economic development because of this industrialization and advancement of technology, and they get money and they engage in sense gratification. Ahara, nidra, bhaya, maithuna. 4 things. Eating, sleeping, mating, defending. So therefore, and there is no question of liberation. They do not want to be liberated. They do not want to go back. They do not know even. They are ignorant like animal. They are thinking that this life is one life. Let us enjoy indiscriminately. In this way, they are gliding down to the abominable spaces. They are losing the opportunity of going back to Godhead. Therefore, Srimad Bhagavatam is propounding the highest truth to tell us that you have to get out from this. Srimad Bhagavatam, beauty of Bhagavatam, he never flatters that, oh, you will be happy by all the things, economic development. No. Dharma projita kaitava. He rejected all the things. All kind of so-called dharma. Sometimes they adopt so-called dharma for material benefit. Materially motivated to get something, some economic development or some benefit, so that they engage in sense gratification. This kind of thing also, some kind of, in guise there is a sense gratification, extended sense gratification. So this is rejected. Bhagavatam is rejected. Propound highest truth how to engage in the devotional service. How to engage in the devotional service of the Lord. The highest truth, Bhagavatam propound. Bhagavatam dharmami ha arthadam apiyadhira. This Prahlad Maharaj also speaking same thing. This is very, very important, that how the people are so much into engage in the sense gratification project. Dharma projita kaitava. Atra nirmasaran. The Bhagavatam is meant for, not for those who are so much into the material motivated, so much into sense gratification. It is for the pure devotee, those who are non-envious. Because in material world, everybody is envious householder. We envy, you envy. I envy you, you envy me. Everybody is intolerant to see the prosperity of his neighbors. That is called envious. Nirmatsara. They are called nirmatsara, envious. But in spiritual world, no. Nobody is envious. Rather, if somebody see that someone is very prosper, or somebody is doing very nicely serving the Lord, they are very happy. That, oh, Lord is served very nice. The nice devotee is serving the Lord very nicely. That is the devotee perspective. They are not envious. If you are envious, any devotee is envious, then he is not allowed, he cannot understand Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam is meant for Nirmat Satam. Param Nirmat Saranam Satam. Paramansam. Param Nirmat Saranam Satam. Those who are completely non-envious. Param means complete, supreme, means 100% non-envious, 100% pure. They can understand Srimad Bhagavatam. Otherwise, very difficult. Who are envious, no vacancy. Envy means no vacancy in Vaikuntha. No vacancy. You cannot understand Bhagavatam. What to speak about going back without understanding Bhagavatam. Therefore, Prabhupada says Srimad Bhagavatam is transcendental to all this sense gratificatory activity. It is purely transcendental literature, which can be understood only by pure devotee of the Lord, who are transcendental to competitive sense gratification. See? Prabhupada says that. Nirmasaranam satam. That is called Nirmasaranam satam. And some people, what happened? This material world is full of what we say perverted reflection of this, perverted reflection of spiritual world. Everybody hankering for happiness, hankering for sense gratification, but they are frustrated because the real mango is not there. It is a reflection. Material world, a reflection of real mango. So the karmi, they are diving into the river. Where is that mango? Beautiful juicy mango I saw in the water. That is just meal, that is what a reflection only. So in reflection they find out and they are frustrated, failure. Everybody wants happiness, hankering for that happiness. Adi rasa. The kama, krodha, ejo, kama, everything starting from the lost kama, sex, all this called adi rasa. Everybody is after this sense gratification. And highest sense gratification is called sex life. That is called adi rasa. But they are looking in a very wrong place, because this place is just a reflection. There is no real happiness, real adi rasa. When they are frustrated failure, they want to merge with Lord. They say, declare, there is no mango, there is no mango. That is called Mayavadi, impersonally. They say, neti, neti, neti. Oh, there is no mango here. False. Everything, the world is false. Jagata mithya. But they have no idea. So, but eventually, they will come and dive into the same thing to find out what if there is rasa. They open the hospital, they open this charity, etc. They will be looking after some kind of happiness in this material world. Although they declare it's false after frustration, eventually they will come back. Because they have no idea of the real mango. They want to merge with God. They have no idea of the devotional service. They will fall down again to material food. It is stated in 10 to 30. Arurya karchana, they give up everything, they go top and they fall down because they have no idea of real mango. What is that real mango? The devotional service. Ahituki apratiyata jadatma surpasidati. Savai punsam paro dharma, dato bhakti. This bhakti is not there. They are neglecting the lotus feet of the Lord. They are neglecting the devotional service to the Lord. Therefore they will fall down. But devotee knows the real mango. So they release it. That is different. Therefore the Srimad Bhagavatam is called Nigama Kalpatul Galitam Phalam, the ripened fruits, juice. Sukhamukad Amrita Darpa Sunjatam. It is spoken by Sukadeva Goswami, may make it more relisable. Just like any fruits, it touched by the parrot, it is become more tastier. So the Bhagavatam is tasted by the Sukadeva Goswami. So it is more tastier. Rasam alayam, Bhagavatam rasam alayam, muhu rasika aho bhagavad. The people, so Bhagavad, it inviting everyone, come and release this beautiful Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam is all about the activities of the Lord, glories of the Lord. So it is said that dharma projita kaitava atra param nirmat saranam satam vedyam vastavam atra vastu sivadam tapatra mulana. So now we understand that Bhagavatam is the highest truth propound, and it rejected all this cheating religion. Dharmasai apavargasya na artha upakalpate. The 1 to 11 Bhagavatam say that the dharmasai apavargasya, the dharma should not be executed for sense gratification. That is cheating dharma. Therefore Bhagavatam rejected that dharma. And it propound highest dharma. And to be understood by those who are pure and non-envious. Human life is meant for that. The save heta praiteta kovida. Human life is not meant for simply inquiring how to eat, how to sleep, how to mate, how to defend. Intelligent person should inquire about this. What is this tattva? What is this mango? What is this highest truth? What is satyam paramadimahi? They should inquire. Kamasya nendriya priti lava jivet. Admonished, warned by Bhagavatam. Kamasya nendriya priti lava jivet davat. Jivasya tattva jigyasa. Human being not meant for the sense gratification process. Rather, tattva jigyasa, self-realization is very important. Therefore, religiosity is very important. Religiosity bring about the self-realization. Facilitate for self-realization. Kamasya nendriya priti lava jivet dava. So therefore, the very important thing for every human being, every living being, those who are caught in this material existence and undergoing all this suffering, they should adopt this Bhagavat process. Because self-preservation is the first law of nature. That means you have to save. Self-preservation means save your soul. That is the first business. Therefore, Bhagavatam says your first business is dharma projita kaitava atra param nirmansanam. You come and surrender into Krishna. Adopt this Bhagavata dharma, this quality of Srimad Bhagavatam. Vedyam vastavam atra vastu sivadam tapatruya malanam. What is the benefit of Bhagavatam? If you understand Bhagavatam, Vedyam means understand. Vastavam means all energy. Atra Vastu, Krishna is Supreme Lord, Absolute Truth is called Vastu. And Vastavam means all is energy. If you understand all these things, Bhagavatam is full narration, complete description of this 𝗕𝗵𝗴𝗃𝗁, nectarian description of the Hari Katha, Krishna Katha. So if you understand this Krishna and is all this energy, it is Sivadam means auspicious. 𝗕𝗵𝗴𝗃𝗁, 𝗕𝗵𝗴 means we are all suffered, tormented by three folds of material energy. Adhyatmic, Adidaivik, Adibhautik. By our mind, by our body, klesha dasasya deha, by our mind, by others, and by calamities like COVID, tsunami, so and so forth, earthquake, famine, etc. So this is the thing. All these three fold of misery which has been attacking us, we are tormented, we are being tossed by three folds of misery. That is stated also in these beautiful verses. 7, 13, 31 beautiful verses. Adhyatmika adhivi. Say Adhyatmika adhivi. Materialistic activities are always mixed with three kind of miserable conditions. Adhyatmik, Adidoibik, Adibhautik. Therefore, even if one achieves some success by performing such activity, what is the benefit of this success? One is still subject to birth, death, old age, disease, and the reaction of his fruitive activity. Very nice verses. So everybody is all our activities are mixed with this kind of three kind of misery. So material world means miserable. As soon as we are embodied, we are put into this material condition, our conditioning state. And this conditioning state we are conducted by three modes, three kind of misery. We are always inflicted by three kind of misery. They are concomitant factor, Prabhupada says. They are inherent, intrinsic. These are inherent, intrinsic adversity of conditioned life, that we are tormented by three folds of material life, misery. We cannot get out. Mama Maya Durataya, unless we surrendering to Krishna. Therefore, we are always 𝗕𝗵𝗴𝗃𝗁. The Srimad Bhagavatam, what will happen when you hear Srimad Bhagavatam? 𝗕𝗵𝗴𝗃𝗁, it will root out, not just cutting. Cutting means again it will grow. It is just uprooted. A tree uprooted, it will not grow again. So 𝗕𝗵𝗴𝗃𝗁, it will uproot at all three folds of misery. That is the benefit, stupendous, tremendous benefit of hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavata Mahamuni Kirte 𝗕𝗵𝗴𝗃𝗁 Saddha Hudaya Varuddhate. Srimad Bhagavatam Mahamuni, it is compiled by Mahamuni, liberated soul. It is not compiled by any Thelawala, any Thelawala or any Tom, Dick and Harry, any conditioned soul. Mahamuni Kirte. Vyasadeva is empowered incarnation of Supreme Lord. Bhagavan Chakrahari, it is stated, it is confirmed in these beautiful verses that this Bhagavatam is not compiled by the, Tom, Dick and Harry. It is compiled by the empowered incarnation. Idam Bhagavatam Nama Puranam Brahma Samitam Uttama Sloka Charitam Chakare Bhagavan Rusi. See, Chakare Bhagavana, is Bhagavana, is Supreme Lord, literally incarnation. Vyasadeva is a Saptavesh avatar. Chakare Bhagavan Rusi Nishrayasya Lokasya Dhyanam Swasti Dhanyam Swasti Ayanam Mahat. Beautiful verses 1-340. A principle, this scripture named Srimad Bhagavatam is the literal incarnation of Godhead. Idam Brahma Samitam. Brahma Sutram is a literal incarnation, just like Lord incarnated as half lion, half man. Lord incarnated as fish. So here Lord incarnated as the literally word, literally sound, literally incarnation. And it is compiled by Srila Vyasadeva, the incarnation of God. See, Bhagavana Chakare Rushi, the incarnation of God. So Vyasadeva is not ordinary, Mahamuni therefore. It is meant for ultimate good of all people. Nishrayasya Lokasya. And it is all successful, all blissful, all perfect. So beautifully is given these verses. It is all successful, all blissful and all perfect. That is Srimad Bhagavatam. That is quality of Srimad Bhagavatam. That is the quality of Srimad Bhagavatam. Kimba Parer Ishwara. Kimba Parer means there is no other literature. We don't need any other literature. This literature is sufficient. This literature is sufficient. We don't need any other literature. Srimad Bhagavatam, what is that called? Sarva Vedanta Sara iti. Sri Bhagavatam Isyate. Yad, what is that verse? Yad, I will show you that verse. Forget this line. 12, 13, 15. 12, 13, 15 of Bhagavatam. It is said that Sarva Vedanta Sarami Sri Bhagavatam Isyate Tad Rasamrutam Tuttasya Nanyatrasya Dratikachit. Here it is said that Srimad Bhagavatam is declared to be essence of all Vedanta philosophy. Srimad Bhagavatam, in Bhagavatam itself, the glories of Bhagavatam is described. The essence of all Vedanta, Veda means knowledge, vast body of knowledge. Veda means knowledge. Veda Anta means ultimate knowledge, end of knowledge. There is nothing beyond that. And the essence of all this Vedanta philosophy is Srimad Bhagavatam. Therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that Srimad Bhagavatam Amalam Pramanyam. It's Amalam Purana, spotless. Amalam Pramanya, evidently it is spotless. It is the natural commentary of Vedanta Sutra. One who has felt satisfaction from its nectarian mellow will never be attracted to any other literature. Those who have released the smell of Srimad Bhagavatam, they will not be attracted to any other literature. Any other. No, any other literature. It is stated in this, any other literature. Tuttasya nanyatra rachikachid. Tad rasamrita tuttasya. They are tutta, they are contained by the rasa amrita, the nectarian juice of Bhagavatam. Those who have released this nectarian juice of Bhagavatam, nanyatra syad rati kachit. Na anyatra. Any other literature they will not be, they will not have any attraction. Rati means attraction. Same point it is also said in this video, our verses. Kimba Parer. Means there is no need of any other literature. Srimad Bhagavatam is sufficient to get us back to Godhead. Ishvara Sadde Hudasya Avaruddhate. Ishvara means Supreme Lord. Sadhya means immediately. Hurday means heart. Avaruddhate means compacted, locked up. Lord is already in the heart. He will locked up. I am there. I am compacted. I am not going anywhere. I am in your heart. So beautiful. So, that is Srimad Bhagavatam. How he is locked up? Atra kirtibihi sussusrivi kirtibihi sussusrivi tatakshanaat. By hearing kirtibi, by glorifying and hearing this Srimad Bhagavatam, Lord will immediately, tatakshanaat means immediately, he will come and compact it. He will locked up in the heart. That is the benefit of Bhagavatam. That is stated in these beautiful verses also. Tatra kirtiti visuskuvi tatakhanat. Yeah. Sadasabhya Narada Purana, it is said that. Sadasabhya Bhagavatam Katha iti Jasya Sravana Matrena Harir Chitam Samsrate. By hearing this Srimad Bhagavatam, Sarva Matrena means little hearing also Krishna will compacted in the heart, locked up in the heart. That is Bhagavatam. That is the essence of Bhagavatam, quality of Bhagavatam. So the second verses is glorifying the quality of Bhagavatam and propounding the highest truth, highest religion. That is highest religion. Rejecting all other religion, highest religion, Bhagavatam. Simply hearing and glorifying the Supreme Lord. Pastimes, forms about Lord, the supreme dharma. Sadhya hude avaruddhate kitri susrivi. So this out of 9 process of devotional service, hearing and chanting is very, very important. The hearing of Krishna Katha is very important. Sunnatam Sukatha Krishna Punya. All our Abhadrami, everything will dirty. By hearing process, it will be clean. Chaita Darpana Mardan. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is coming Chaita Darpana Mardanam. The Chaitanya Charitamrita begins with that Chaita Darpana Mardanam. And begins with this Chaitanya Charitamrita, the teaching begins with chanting the holy name, congregational chanting. Bhagavatam ends with this congregation chanting. And Chaitanya Charitamrita begins with that. Bhagavatam ends with saying that Nama Sankritana Jasya Sarva Papa Pranasanam. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Chaitanya Charitamrita begins with that, the chant, congregational chanting. Kali Kalera Nama Kali Kalera Kali Kale Nama Rupe Krishna Avatara. Krishna is incarnated as incarnation. Krishna incarnation in his name, as his holy name. Holy name is incarnated in his holy name. So therefore, the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is a postgraduate, Chaitanya Charitamrita is a postgraduate study, the practical application of Srimad Bhagavatam. So this is very important verses. In these verses we know that how this Bhagavatam is the topmost prana, the topmost highest truth. This is the topmost Purana. It is stated in one of the verses that Namna Nimanam Ganam Jatha Ganga Achutyam Jatha Devanam Jatha Achutya Devanam Jatha Achutya Vaishnavanam Jatha Sambhu Puranam Jatha Idam. Out of all rivers, the Ganges river is topmost. Achutya, out of all deity, Achutya deity is the topmost worshipable deity. And out of all Vaishnavas, Lord Shiva is the greatest of Vaishnavas. Out of all Purana, this Bhagavatam Purana is the greatest. Therefore, it is said that this Srimad Bhagavatam Amalam Puranam Jasya Vaishnavanam Priya. The Vaishnava is very dear to Vaishnava. Though if Bhagavatam is not dear to anybody, he cannot be called as Vaishnava. Vaishnava means he must be liking Srimad Bhagavatam. Vaishnavanam Jasya Vaishnavanam Priya. Jasmin Paramansam Ekalam Jnanam Paramagyate. Paramansam, they always assimilate this knowledge. Tatra Jnana Viraga Bhakti Sahita Naiskramyam Abhiskrutam Sravanam Pathanam Vicharanam Paravimukta Bhakta Vimuchena Naraha. How to understand Bhagavatam? See, it is stated very nicely in this beautiful 12, 13, 18 of Bhagavatam. Is stated very nicely. This Bhagavatam about the Srimad Bhagavatam Puranam Amalam Yad Vaishnavanam Priya Jasmin Paramansam Ekam Amalam Jnanam Paramagyate Tatra Jnana Viraga Bhakti Saitam Naiskramyam Abhiskrita Tasravanam Supathanam Vicharanam Parabhavam. This Srimad Bhagavatam is spotless Purana. It is the most dear to Vaishnava because it describes the pure and supreme knowledge of Paramahansa. This Bhagavatam reveals the means of becoming free from material work together with process of transcendental knowledge, renunciation and devotion. Bhakti means there is always a detachment, renunciation and knowledge and renunciation. Without Bhakti Paresanubhava, without renunciation or material detachment and knowledge, there is no Bhakti actually. And supreme Bhakti is Anya Vilasita Sunyam Jnana Karmadi Anarvatam. All this Jnana, Karma, everything should not be there. That is highest of Bhakti, pure Bhakti. Rupa Goswami has given this kindly to every Vaishnava's community, that what is called pure devotional service. Anya Vilasita Sunyam Jnana Karmadi Anarvitam Anavarditam. This is not covered by any jnana and karma, no fruitive activities, no so-called speculative knowledge. It is free from all contamination, unadulterated, unalloyed, pure devotional service. That is Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam propounds this pure devotional service, describe that pure devotional service. Anukulyena Krishnanusilaram Bhakti Ruttama. So anyone who seriously try to understand Srimad Bhagavatam, who properly hears, chant it with devotion, become completely devoted. So here only these verses explain how to understand Bhagavatam. Many people giving so many different concocted way that how we can understand Bhagavatam and all. The two verses it say, another verses also Lord Shiva say how to understand. Here it says that tasravanam supathanam vicharanam paravaktya vimuchanena. Tasravanam, you hear it, then supathanam, you study it. Study means you study, go and study scrutinizingly, Prabhupada say, what you have heard. Then vicharana means contemplating, thinking, meditating on whatever you have heard it. Then with devotion, then bhakta vimuchanana, you will understand the Bhagavatam and get liberated. That is the process of how to understand Bhagavad Gita. So this is about the second verses we have read today. Also there is a cap, first verses. So it is very nice. First, second verses actually about the Srimad Bhagavatam. Also it is the Abhideya, means how the practical. We know that Sambandha Jnana Krishna is the absolute truth in the first verses, and we have to surrender unto him, and the nature of the absolute truth. Then second verses, that relative person. The Bhagavata Dharma means Shravanam Kirtanam. This the 9 kind of devotional service called Bhagavata Dharma. Shravanam Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. First is Shravanam Kirtanam, then Vishnu, it will culminate to point of meditating. Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atmanivedanam, Itim Pun Sarpita Vishnu, Bhakti Chaina Navalakshana, the 9 kind of devotional service. That is Bhagavata Dharma. How to engage. Ahituki apratihata, Jajatma Suprasitata. Ahituki, unconditional love to Lord. No more material motivated. Simply to serve the Lord. In immature stage, we go to Lord and for some kind of return, we engage in service for some material motivation, some kind of expecting some return. That is not pure bhakti. That is called sakama bhakti. But Bhagavatam is niskama bhakti. No more desire. I want to go to Lord, simply engage in his service, not to expect something, not to ask something. In exchange of something I want to do the service. No, that is not pure. That is niskama. Bhagavatam is niskama bhakti. No more expectation in return. That is niskama bhakti. Although in Bhagavatam, to encourage, it is stated that akama sarvakama mukhya kama udarati tribheti brena bhakti yogena jajanti. What is that? Tibrena bhakti yogena 2-3-10, it is stated that either you have some desire, but you come, you will be purified. Ultimately you will be purified. You will not be asking anything. Na dhanam na janam na sundarim kavitamba jagati sakamaya mama janmani janmani chare bhavatat bhakti rohiti. I do not want any kind of material desire. Highest Bhagavatam propound the highest truth, highest dharma. This is the highest truth. What is that highest truth? That Krishna is the Supreme Lord. Jivara Swarupe Nitya Krishna Dasa, and we are all eternal subservient of the Lord. That is the highest truth. Nitya Dasa we are. and we should be engaged in the service of the Lord. Thank you very much. गंधरा श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय. हरे कृष्ण.